10 because he was a professional member, and then he was VS. So that would have been, the next would be 30 before this band of numbers. So that would have been 00001 will be his diploma number. So if we go by that approach, an LS would have 1010 and then the number. So in this case, in this template, it is 5 zeros that we are using. So the 5 zeros then would remain. And if it's a GhIS, it will be 1020 with the 5 zeros. It's an associate, sorry, here it will be 3040 and then what do you call it? The digit for an associate. Because in the professional classes, we have professional member, technician. So the next level will be associate, which is 30. So in the technician's case, it will be 3040, and then the number the person will then be assigned. So for technicians also same. It will start with 20, then the division will be 10 plus the diploma number as we know it currently. So same for GhIS, same for VS, and then same for associates. So in this particular case, VS and GhIS and technicians will be 1020, and the numbers will follow in that order. So in simple terms, myself, like I said, my number would be 1030, and in this 5-digit slot, it will be 101075. And for our president, whose diploma number is 504 currently, by this approach, it will be 1020000504. And for our senior vice, whose diploma number is 544, his diploma number will be 1030000544. Now, those last 5 digits is basically because I've used the 5 templates. If we agree on the million, we've taken care of almost the next 100 years of membership, or 50 years, maybe. Let me not be so pessimistic. The number will balloon at some point. So if it is 6-digit numbers, it will be 1020000504 for president, and senior vice will be 1030000544 for the senior vice. And in this conversation, it will make it a bit more simple and easier for our databases as we develop them for all members or all interactions. And with this one, on the face of it, you automatically whether the person is an associate member or a professional or a technician. Thank you very much, Chairman. I think we can take questions now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Surveyor Tony Ntiador. So me as the vice president, mine will be 1010-00831. Am I right?
Yes.
God bless you. All right. So the floor is open for questions. Please, if you are not clear about something, just raise your hand and I'll call you to speak.
Security Council. This also is having a sound problems at the moment.
Yes, Surveyor Kojo Adai, your hand is up.
Yes,
please,
thank you.
Somebody's radio is on. Please wait. Please, if you are not speaking, can you mute your mic? I hear a radio voice from somewhere. All right, please, Surveyor Kojo, go ahead.
Yes, okay. So thank you, Chair, and thank you, Surveyor Ntiador. With the example you gave, so is it that 10,000 or 100,000? Is that it? And which one are we adopting, or that's for us to decide? Because for the one you showed, which is 1010, and if it's the president 00504, it means that when we hit 9,999, we are done. Is that it? Is that the understanding?
Yeah. So the approach is to allow us room then to accommodate members without having to change a numbering format again. So if you do 99999, i.e. 5 digits, it means that when you hit 1 million, it will become, the number could look funny. Basically, that's how it will look like. So what you do that you allow room, we can put in another digit. But for this meeting, the conversation is to just agree whether we should go with 5 digits or 6-digit numbering. In that case, we've made room for the next long couple of years. So that's basically the conversation.
Okay, thank you. So I think that's what I wanted to understand. So if we agree on 5 digits, it still gives us some time before we can hit the 5-digit limit, because we are currently 3,000 and something. So with a 5-digit, it means that we can go all the way up to 10,000. That's it, right? And if we do 6,000, then it means that we are doing the 100,000s.
No, if
And
we
at
do
the time,
if we do 6 digits, that's 1 million. So before you
that's
hit
1 million. Yes.
Before you hit, you have to hit what do you call it? 999 million or something before it rolls over. So once you start with 6 digits, it needs to keep going till you have hit 909 million. Is it 9 million or something until it rolls over into 7-digit numbering? So basically, that's what it means. So
Okay.
that allows more room for members without having to change any numbering structure. For databases, you need to be consistent. You think ahead, you make allowance for it, then you are in control.
Thank you, Tony. Then my final question would be, so if we do hit the limit, assuming we take 5 and we hit the limit of 5, what next? Does it mean that then we have to reiterate the numbering again? That's the clarity I think that I need. Because if we do 10,000, 5 digits to do 10,000, when we hit that 10,000, what happens to the next, surveyor or the next group of people who come after that?
Yeah, and I think that is why we are here. The conversation then is to look at moving away. Currently, the key challenge we are having is not hitting a limit, but basically we are unable to upload, for example, or distinguish diploma technician numbers from professionals and vice versa. So the numbering structure is not just the counting on the stream side, but rather also to find a base of identifying them. But the question as to what happens if we agree on a number, I think that one, let's leave it for the generation whose time it will happen. When it gets there, then they can decide. But for us now, it's either we are going with a 50 number, 5-digit number, or a 6-digit number. Currently, we have 4 digits. So 4 digits, currently our total numbers is looking around 3,500 plus. If that's anything to go by, I can presume that in the next 10 years, we'll be approaching 99999.
All right. Thank you very much. Surveyor Cobalt, Senior Vice, your hand is up.
Yes, thank you very much, Chair and resource person. I've just a little plea. In the beginning, when the program started, a lot of people couldn't join because we seem to have exceeded a number. So I'm just pleading if there could be a summary, either in the end of the whole program, because I was able to join at the tail end. And so I'm just pleading if there could be 2-3 minute summary of the whole presentation, so those who missed from the beginning can be filled in. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. We will consider that. Let's take some more questions and then, so Tony, to avoid us complicating ourselves, why not just go over a bit? Then we cannot take questions to continue. Because if I take more questions before going back again, that would be a bit problematic. So if you don't mind, please do us that favor. Go back a bit. Give us a summary of what you told us for evening, and then we can go for more. Thank you very much. So we are Achabon. Can you please wait for our presenter to give us more insight before we start taking questions? Thank you very much.
Okay, so let me quickly run over again so that we can all be aligned. The conversation is to prefix a professional number with 10, a technician number with 20, an associate as they come along with 30. And then do the same for the divisions. An LS with 10, a QS with 20, a VS with 30, and then an associate with 40. So when you jump that side, it means that an LS number, a professional LS number would become 1010. And then the current, if you just use the current number, it's currently about 40. But to maintain consistency with those who have single numbers or the 3-digit numbers, we will have to bring all of them at par. It means that if your number is current, a single number, i.e., late Honorable Arisoya, who was 1, it would have become 00001. And then for a QS, it will be 1020. 000 and then the single number in the context. So this is how structure-wise it will make it easier. So on the face of the number, it automatically will give you an idea whether the person is a land surveyor, the person is a QS, the person is a VS, and then or the person is an associate. Same also applies to technician. Technician numbers will start with 20. And then if the person is an LS technician, then the next will be 10, and then the current number would follow. So this will distinguish that of the technician from that of the professional member. So in the same order, 2020, and then the digit for a person, if the person is a QS, 2030, if the person is a VS. And if the person is an associate, it's supposed to be 3040 for the associate, if the person is a technician. So in that numbering format, it becomes a bit more easier to identify all members, avoiding duplicates. Now, as to whether we agree on the last digit being 5 or 6, that's just a question of what we choose to play with, knowing how fast we are growing currently. If I'm not mistaken, we should be about the second largest professional grouping in Ghana currently. So if that is anything to go by, it means that yours truly, my diploma number will become 10 being a professional member, 30 being a VS, and then my diploma number being 1075 will become 01075. However, if we choose to make the last 5 digits 6 digits rather, it will become 001075. So in the same way, if you apply the same approach to our president, whose diploma number is 504 currently, his diploma number now is actually 3 digits. So if you put it within the 5-digit numbering, to become 10 because he's a professional member, 20 because he's a QS, and 00504. In the same way, if you go to senior vice president, whose diploma number is 544, 3 digits as well, and being a professional member will be 10, being a VS member will be 30, and then when you put within the 5-digit band, to become 00544. If we decide that it should go to 6-digit band, to become 000544. It means that we made a lot of room and allowances for long-term member additions, also clearly distinguishing between a professional member, an associate, or a technician member in that side. And I think, humbly, it will help with our stamps, it will help with our, with our IDs, and all that we can bring up to on board as we go along. So again, thank you very much. We can now take on the other additional questions. Thank you.
Thank you very, very, very much, Surveyor Ntiador. Yes, so the floor is opened. The floor is open for more clarification, more questions. But Surveyor Ntiador, in your own perspective, what advice do you have for us in choosing which will be better for us?
I think that so initially my thought was to go with a 5-digit number, but then in today's world and looking at the number of students waiting in line and how we are jumping, let's go with a 6-digit numbering. That will make sure we have catered for a very long time to come before we even have any conversation around diploma numbering again.
Okay, all right. Surveyor Priscilla, you're not.
Vice.
Yes.
Thank you, Vice. Thank you very much, Surveyor Ntiador, for the presentation. Yes, so I also agree with we maintaining the 6-digit so that we wouldn't have to worry about now changing to 6-digit when we exceed the 5-digit. So I think that the 6-digit is fine. And I want to know what happens to the ID cards that has already been issued, the stamps. So it means the numbers, the professional numbers would have to change for all those items.
All right. Surv Ntiador.
So the IDs we have produced has expiry date. So what it means that at expiry, the new numbering will take cognizance of that. For the IDs, it won't be a difficult one to replace. The challenge will be on the stamp one. So we're working also in terms of replacing the stamps as it comes to the numbering change. We won't change immediately so that we avoid unnecessary cost. For IDs, it won't cost us much to do it now. But again, there's no pressure to do it. We are just altering our numbers internally and then we take it from there. It doesn't mean that we should stop using the IDs as is. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I
Thank
see
you.
2 questions in the chat box. The first one says, what are the costs to the institution? Maybe can you give us a brief on that before I go to the second question?
Absolutely no cost, because the idea is that we don't intend to change anything in retrospect. So it means that it is those new members who will be added from October. I think October follow this format. All the others will just ordinarily, we need to adjust it, our numbering mentally. Okay. And then also in the login, when we have now blast, because what we'll do is I will blast an email to everyone, knowing that we have everybody's email with your correct diploma number, as the case may be. So to log in, then the idea is that after this is accepted and adopted, just around the next AGM, we will start on a small pilot base, and as we roll it out, or unless governing council advises otherwise, we'll blast an email to everyone. And then from that day on, your login would either be the full diploma number or your email.
All right. Then the second question says, do we still need to give associates? I'm sorry. Oh, the one has deleted it. Okay, another question has come. It says, why don't we use abbreviation LS or QS or VS instead of 10, 20, and 30 respectively? That's the question, please.
For databases and ease of indexing, when you have a long pool of numbers, like I explained earlier, the alphabet in it does not follow a quicker indexing rather than when you have only numerals. So I give you an example that take a look at your ID. You find that you have GHA, and those are alphabets. The next bunch are numbers, and then all the next bunch are numbers. So the reality is that the GHA you see is because you are Ghanaian. So in the system, there's a space before the numbering starts. So you actually identify by the string of numbers that follow. It actually helps the indexing. When you have a huge pile of data, it helps with indexing and sorting electronically. But if you have, what do you call it? Alphanumeric numbering, it can actually create problems for you if you need to do complicated reorganization of your data. Thank you.
Great.
And that's the main reason why we are not advising using the VS and the LS as the case may be. So if, again, for example, it was the same numbering format that was designed for technicians using a T. So you have a technician member who was 001 or was 1, the same as the professional member was also 1. But the one didn't have a letter. The professional member didn't have a letter to say this is a professional member, a P by it. But for technicians, there was an what do you call it? A T. It creates confusion. But once we go like this, we can keep it even anyhow we want to, even add numbering to it or in between. It will make it more easier. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I have two comments here. It's a supporting comments. The first one says, please, I also agree with the 6-digit number. Thanks. And another one says, I agree with Surv Ntiador with the 3-digit format. RICS uses 7 digits. So that is what is on board. Any more questions, please?
Hello. Good
Yeah.
evening to you. Yes, with
Please,
the
please, who is
numbering,
speaking?
Gertrude Saki.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, with the numbering for the divisions, who knows? Maybe in the near future we would have additional divisions to it. Are you getting it? So I go with Tony with the numbering so that if we should have another division, in addition, we can give it 04. Or if we have to dissolve the divisions and, well, I don't know, but I agree with him with that. Secondly, I would also ask the certificates that we have. Yes, we can do something with the IDs, but the certificates we have, we should establish the fact that it's still valid, and that when these numbers are given, please, the IT people should make sure that someone's number is not given to another person. That's my beef on that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, Attorney, any comment?
No, not at all. I think it was they were all supporting comments.
Exactly.
But I see hands up. There's one admin iPhone, there's Yahweh Champo, and there's Sevilla or Fab.
Sevilla Champo, your hand is up.
Thank you very much, Vice President. Good evening. And also, the attorney, thank you for the presentation. I also think we should go for the 6. The 6 numbers will help. And I realized that if you're about 3,005 and only about 120 or something able to, you have about 171. I saw on the presentation that the thing is being recorded. So I'll plead with the IT people that maybe you should also put the recording on the page so that those who couldn't listen can also listen later. And if they have any other inputs or any suggestions, they can also add it.
Thank you very much.
But I think the 6 numbers will be fine. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Well noted. Sylvia John Paul. Sylvia John Paul. All right. Admin, your hand was up earlier. Can you please come in? All right. It's like people have beginning to understand. I know it will be a bit complicated from the beginning, but as time goes on, this will be rolled out, not immediately, but we'll be educating as time goes on. Maybe anytime we want to do any CPD, we can bring in this just as a highlight of the program we are doing. So,
hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes. Is it Surv John Paul?
No, please.
Okay, please, you come for question.
Okay, this is Surv Charles, who say Champo.
Yeah.
Good evening, Surv MC and then Surv Chair.
Yeah.
This my question is goes to Surv Chair. I think the first question, or the first question when he was answering, he made mention that I think the person asked him, assuming you are maybe what we are about to do, they started and go and hit it 1 million or something. Are they going to start it all over again? And if I heard him right, he said we should do it now and leave it for the next generation. When they also get in, they also know what to do. So I'm asking that now that we have opportunity to do maybe amendment something about our institution, are you leaving for the next generation to come also do their own? Why don't you do it now because now we've got the opportunity to change whatever you want to change. But we are doing just to certify ourselves now, then in future leave for those who are here to come. Thank you.
Okay, so Surveyor Paul Fab is on. His hand is up. Let me take that also, and then we can combine that one. And
okay, all right. Now, Charles, are you?
Yes, please. I'm done. Please.
Yeah, John
Okay.
Paul Fab. Oh,
John, please.
I don't think he's ready to comment.
But he can. Okay. Anyway,
So
he has
let's
posted.
hear him.
I think he has posted in the chat box, if I'm not mistaken.
All right. And there's
Anyway,
one. I don't know if it's a question or.
Surveyor Ntiador, am I on the line?
Let me read.
Hello.
Yes, you are on the line, Paul Fab. We can only see your head and your curtains. Can't see
Yeah.
your
Oh,
face.
sorry. Let me take it off. Okay, that's fine. Sorry. So, I was trying to. I think I agree entirely with all that has gone on, and it is something that some of us have been asking for a while. On a lighter note, I guess I want to find out your view. What about those who perchance out of maybe death or something leaves the institution? What happens to their numbers? Are we going to say, okay, those numbers forever will not be used? Because we are trying to minimize as the number keeps going up, we want to manage it. So what happens if we have lost 10, 15, 20? What happens to all those numbers? Can't we have a way to reuse them? That's just that, by the way. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So now let me start with yours. I'm not seeing it as an authority, but for databases and best practice, when in a bunch of numbers, when someone is deceased, when someone loses out, their number is not entirely cancelled because you want to avoid the incidence of what do you call it? Crime usage. So that number is actually retired. So when you are counting citizens, you always count the what do you call it? The deceased ones. So for the next couple of years, if we have a very good system of numbers, and I'll give you one country, for example, in Zimbabwe, and I'm talking about their national ID. Now, when someone passes on, it's a requirement that before the person is buried, it's allowed to be taken from the morgue. The person ID is submitted at the entrance of the morgue before you can take the body out. That number is not cancelled, but they always have record of the total number of people who are no longer amongst the living. So it helps us to know how many of our members used to have or are no longer in existence. But these were the numbers they were using. So I won't say we should cancel and reuse the number. The world is moving. As we go, we add on to it. The other part of the question and as was asked, I have to answer it the way I did because I think that was admin. Is it Charles? Charles, the question was whether 5060, and I think majority of us agree we should go 60. 60 means that before you hit the 660, you would have 999,999 members. Currently, we have only 3,005. To imagine that we hit this number, it's almost the next 30, 40 years conversation if we keep going at the current pace that we are going. However, if you want to say we should open it up, it means that you may have to assume that the world is eternity. So then the number will keep adding on. The answer is technology is changing very fast. By the next 30 years, we have no idea where the world will be. But in these present circumstances, a number like this can take us fairly far before any changes happens. We have no idea how the world will look like. So I can't say make it 7 digits. That will be 1 million plus. The number will be becoming too long. That's true. So to be able to make it simple was why I give that simple answer. And the truth is that 10, 15 years ago, by those of us who were born around 2000, where we are today, anybody who was born before never assumed that technology will take us where we are today. So things change. So it may be, when we get there, become very critical to take a look at the numbers. Like I said, the generation then, the leadership then will take a look at all the possibilities into the equation and then adopt a number that is relevant for that time. But for now, it will help us to be able to distinguish our members, separate technician from professional members, identify everybody correctly. And it's better to go with the 6-digit number. That means 999,999. And I think that's very far from currently our 3,500 members. Thank you very much. Yeah, so Dr. Ajimai has also asked that he agrees with the 6-digit, but how easy will it be to remember the numbers? So, Doc, it's very easy. Just remember that if you're a professional member, your number starts with 10. If you're a professional member. And if you are an LS, the next number is 10. So that's 4 digits. Then you add 6 digits with your number inclusive in those digits. Very easy. This one, you wouldn't swear to remember any of them. Thank you. The questions are coming on. Thank you very much. It's exciting.
I believe gradually we'll get on with it. Gradually we'll get there. Now somebody asks one interesting question. He says, prefix numbers 10, 20, etc. is good for the database administrators. However, in real life, I suggest we continue with GhIS and FGhIS. I think we have explained a lot about this. All right. So, any more? Okay, yeah, GhIS, your hand is up. Please don't use initials. Can you please be indicating your real name? Then we'll be able to communicate well. When I see initials, it always creates problem for us. So, GhIS, please use your real name, okay? Your question, GhIS. Okay, GhIS is not talking. Let's go to Sylvia Gifta Mankwa.
Okay. Can I speak now? Sorry.
Yes.
Yes. I forgot to change my name on.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So Surv Ntiador, this is Jalom Sheriff. Please, I was asking, it's a suggestion. So the 10210 as professional member. I'm just suggesting, can we do it 1? So 1 is a professional number, and then 1 is the division. So LS is 1, so that it starts with 1 1. I'm just thinking that the 1020 makes the number too long. So if the prefix, it can just be 1 1, and then the 6-digit number will come. That way, maybe it shortens it a little. So 1 2 is professional GhIS, and 1 3 is professional VES. Just a suggestion. So if it's possible to look at that as well. Thank you.
Yeah, so we are
thank you. Just a suggestion noted.
Yes.
I personally wouldn't want to delve deeper, but in terms of remembrance, 1020 is easy to remember than 11 or 14. You can have people getting confused because you have to remember that the number starts with 1, there's a 4, or there's a 3. So the number will look like 13. 1 is 12 and things like that. But again, we can defer that one to ESCO and Governing Council's discussion on that. But for us, when we look at it, we thought that is the best way to make it visibly appealing for members to easily remember the number. I honestly cannot remember my national ID off head because of the way it's structured, sincerely. So if we make it in a way that the eyes can easily consume the structure, it becomes a bit more easier.
All right, a question just came up similar to this. Can we have the divisional code first before the class code?
Yeah, so if the Mr. Dominic Berime's question is, it means that it will be 10 for it will be 1010 or 20 and then 10. But again, we can look at that because it doesn't change. It says only where we choose to place it. But again, we can look at that when we are writing out the emails, then we can communicate correctly how we want it to look. Either way, for me, It just makes it easier to identify. It's the same, just changing whether the professional code comes before the divisional code or the divisional code comes before the professional code. That is something, again, we can refer to final QA, final acceptance by council, and then before we go live with it. But like I said, before we go live, every member will receive an email of what, based upon this presentation, of the structure their diploma number will look like. So that at least we'll do like 2 or 3 or 4 emails for members to get used to it. Thank you.
All right. So we are gifted man, your hand is up. So we are gifted.
Gifted Amankwa is member services.
Oh, okay. I see a hand.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, Gertrude is online. Please, Savia Ntiador, how would a technician having that number, if he or she becomes associate member, how would his or her number look like?
Okay, so by convention, if you move from one professional class into the other, your number changes entirely.
Okay. And what happens to the old number? Is it cancelled?
Yeah, the number is cancelled. It will stay in your files as a reference number, but it doesn't become a way of identifying you because you are no longer in that category anymore.
And please, may I ask, in practice, do we withdraw the person's certificate when he or she becomes associate member?
That one, I think, is above my pay grade. Sorry.
Oh,
I think that one has to be answered by ESCO members.
Oh, okay. So it's a question I'm just putting so that the executives think about that. So that the person wouldn't be using 2 numbers at the same time.
All right, that's a very good question. I think it will be considered and then respond even later. All right, I see 2 questions in the chat box. The first one, the 2 look almost the same. The first one from Surveyor Upointry. It says, so per the nomenclature, we can't differentiate a fellow from a professional member. And Surveyor Courage also says, please, how about the fellows? Surveyor Tony, please respond.
Yeah, so fellows, they logically are, what do you call it? It's it's a form of recognition. So it doesn't affect your numbering structure. And it's not just GhIS, all over. So you're actually first and foremost a professional member. Then when you become a fellow, it's a recognition. That's why that one is christened with the F. So it doesn't affect the numbering structure. So that's a very otherwise, every member then when you become a fellow need to be given a new number entirely. But again, if the institution decides that we should change the numbers for fellows, it means that if you would the moment you become a fellow, you will no longer use your diploma number as a professional member anymore and then we'll give you a new number. But currently, from practice, those who are become fellow, their numbers don't change. It's still the same.
Okay. Surveyor, could you, Ada, is your hand still up?
Yes, please, Chair.
Okay, please.
So just to indicate, Tony, that the 6 delegates actually gives us 100,000. And I would also recommend if we can look at the single digit, like somebody suggested, that a 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 3, or 1, 4, and then the numbers can follow. The 6 digits can follow. That way, even if we have the 6 digits, we can even cross over the 100,000 because it's still 6 digits. And so 100, 10001 can continue. And it means that the number would have, or the diploma numbers will have, can continue all the way till it reaches, almost 900,000. And then they may have to change it. So we can look at the single digit as well. But the 6 digit gives us 100,000. It's the 7 digits that takes us to 1,000,000. And the 7 digits, if we add it to what we have, will be too long. And so I think that the 6 digits should be fine, as others have also indicated.
Thank you very, very much. Survey Alex Akwe, your hand is up.
Okay, thank you very much. I wanted to ask, is it possible the certificate, so there will be no conflict, and the number on it with the number that is being proposed to be at the same page, the new proposed number and that of the number on the certificate? Is it possible a new certificate to be issued, and also how to get the IDs? I don't have my ID yet.
Yeah,
Thank you.
so Alex, if you take a look at the system, I don't know whether you have logged in. When you log in, it gives you, if you are in good standing, it allows you to be able to download a certificate of your good standing status. Now, when you take a look at the top left corner, we started thinking of this when we're doing the system. So your diploma number is in that string of numbers, for example. Okay, so the idea is that when this is accepted, we will now replace this as adopted number as we would have agreed from this discussion and council, then with the permanent number. So anytime you go on, you're in good standing, you print a renewal certificate, it will have the number on it. The only ones that we don't, it doesn't change regular will be the existing IDs. Like I said, when they are due for renewal, it will reflect the new one and then your stamp. But any information about you, as in whether if you go online to check whether you are in good standing or not, once agreed, for the system side, it will easily be done. It's one click and all the numbers would conform in that order. So it will not impair. It's only the one that we have produced in hard, i.e. the stamps and then the IDs. But for the certificate also, if you request for a new certificate, again, the system we currently have allows every member to request for a certificate you can't find yours. When you request the certificate, the new number will be the one that will be fixed on it. Again, because the other ones have been printed and they are old, is the reason why to have the old numbers. But if you were supposed to request for a new certificate, it will all show all the new amendments as the case should be. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have 4 comments, which I want to take them one after the other. I wish you will write the question so that I will read all, then you answer them one after the other. Is that okay?
Sure.
All right. So the first one from Surveyor John K.K. Obin says, how will the synchronization of the code with the stamp be? Isn't it going to create difficulty with the long digit codes? Thank you. Then the second one says from GhIS Surveyors, currently the diploma number of a professional member progressing to a class of fellow is the same, unlike a technician member progressing to a professional class. The third one coming from Dr. Jimai Frimpong says, I agree with the changing of the numbers to 6 digits. My only concern is how easy we can memorize these numbers. Can there be a combination of name, initials, and numbers as they are currently? Then the last one says, how about a unique identifier associated with the division instead of the classes, so there is no conflict when a member upgrades from one class to another? Thank you.
All right, thank you, Vice President. I think that the very first one, I think I've spoken about it.
Yeah.
Already. I've just pulled out my national ID. Like, I'm just being honest. I don't know if anybody here can easily remember their national ID numbers off head, but I can't. So anytime I'm asked for my national ID, I will have to go and pick the ID and check. So the numbering on it to be more confusing than what we currently are discussing. What we currently are discussing, because of the 10 or 2010 conversation, it makes it more easier. If that was the case on my card, I promise you, I will not need to refer to it. So our numbering system will make it more easier to identify. If we switch to the whether just using 1, 2, or 3 for the professional class, I don't think it will change anything. I don't think it will change, like, it won't affect, it will also become more easier to remember, like I've just said. So that is something where we can look at. The next one, I think, was asked by, I think the next one is a confirmation of what I said earlier.
Yeah.
The other part was by Courage was, how about a new unique identifier with the division instead of the classes? So both division and classes have unique identifiers. They are not the same. So I think that also I've spoken about it. Professional is giving 1-0 in this case, and then the division is giving, so they all have unique way of identifying them, so they don't mix up. And I think the last one, the unique identifier must be a digit, since we are trying to avoid alphanumeric numbers. I think we are pretty much along the same line.
Yeah.
I hope I've answered all of them. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you very much, fellow colleagues. I think we've come this far, and this is not the last time we'll be having education on this numbering system. And from where I'm coming from, I can see a lot of people are supporting the six digits. So I think when we come to confirm it, and then it's ruled out, we'll see how it will work for all of us. Time is fast spent. We didn't want to go too much into the night. It's already 8:30. So Sylvia, can you share your final words with us?
Yeah, thank you very much. And I think this is the beginning for all of us to be on the same line, so that the changes for the future can all be agreed on together. I'm humbled to lead this evening session. Thank you all very much for the time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry I failed to call one member, HP. Please forgive me. HP, do you have a question? Please use your
okay, sorry, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is Surveyor Abdul Latif. Sorry.
Okay, change your initials, okay, please.
Okay, I'll do that, Chairman. Thank you for the opportunity. Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to find out, Surveyor Ntiador made mention that it appears we are the second largest professional groupings. So I wanted to find out the other group, perhaps that is leading us, what is their numbering structure in terms of identifying themselves? Is it the same thing we are trying to do? So that at least we can adopt best practices. And the second one, I just wanted to find out, we also have student members. I don't know whether this policy will affect the student members. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the opportunity.
All right, so that's the last question.
Yeah, so when I said maybe we could be the second largest, that's why I use the word maybe. Because I do know that, I don't know whether apart from surveyors, maybe closest would be doctors, but doctors are not that many as compared to we surveyors, neither are lawyers. So if I'm not mistaken, either we are the largest or the second largest. And the reality is that for lawyers, I'm not sure of the numbering, but for architects and all those others, I think they have some kind of numbering as well, which we already had. The only difference that we want to make ours stand out, become a bit more easier. So I don't have the answers in in exact terms, but I could research and come back to tell you with professional body. Maybe engineers could be bigger than us. Maybe that I don't know for a fact, because we have engineers. Some of our surveyor colleagues are also engineers as well. So we can find out what their total numbers look like. I don't know whether I've answered that question.
Yes, please, Chairman. Yes, please.
So
there was a last question.
Okay. So Surveyor Ntiador, what's the next step?
Yeah, so the next step, I think, Vice President, will be, after this session, I think will be GC, because by the time we are having the next AGM, the numbering should be in full force, because the CPD is good enough. And I don't know whether, again, by consumer, I don't know whether we need an AGM, or an extraordinary AGM to be able to make the changes. But I think it should be good enough that by the time we meet at the AGM, we would have done all the relevant changes.
Sure. I think with this, hello.
Sorry, I'm so sorry to change just like this. Initially, when you called me, this is Gifty about GhIS.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I heard Surv Ntiador say that he's looking forward to us using these new numbers by the next AGM. But currently, we've had to put on hold LS request for members in good standing because the technician members list is still outstanding. Like Surv Ntiador said earlier, their numbers share similar ones with fellows, and so we are not able to upload theirs. So for now, we need clarity on how to move forward with that, because we don't want to submit the list without the technician list and probably bring up confusion. So we need a way forward on that, please. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Gifty. I think again we have to defer that side. Yes, I think we have to defer that side of the conversation.
Yeah,
to ESCO, to GC. So when Cabinet Council says we should implement it now, again we'll just blast emails to all members, and whatever we have agreed on today, whether 1-1 or 1-0, then it start rolling. And you are right. I was looking ahead, but I think you are right because we still are unable to add technician members fully. So even though we have 3,500 members on our system, we just only can account for about 3,000 members, which means that almost the bunch of the total members not added are technicians, which we need to take care of it quickly because again it even affected them when we started rolling out for the elections. So to avoid all of that, we need to get all of them aligned as soon as possible. Thank you. So I'm in agreement, Gifty. So we allow you over to you.
Okay. So I Gifty, let's take this discussion to Government Council, okay? All right. So Surv Ntiador, on behalf of Government Council and general membership, we want to thank you very much for your time. We know this wouldn't be the last time. We'll have one or two more sessions before AGM on this same thing. And if there are anything else to give to us, we will be ready to listen to you. Members, we want to assure you that we'll be having some 1 or 2 more CPDs for this session. Very, very interesting topics. So get yourselves ready for it. Can we have...
Chairman.
Yes, sorry, Gustav.
Yeah, I just want to indicate that both the slides and then the recordings will be shared on our platforms for those who didn't get the opportunity to also access the presentation.
That's fine.
And I think next time we should not limit the numbers. Let's just allow it to be as many as can join. Thank you.
Wait, I don't think we have limited it. We had a technical issue. So if you see this link, it is more than 100. So we quickly corrected it and switched to another account.
Oh, okay. Okay. Because on their platform, I heard somebody say it was limited to 100.
No, it has been resolved. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
I'm praying I'm offering the closing prayer for us to close this meeting. Heavenly Father, we thank you once again for this opportunity given to us to meet as GhIS members to be educated on this numbering system. May you grant us insight to it that we'll be able to implement this on a smoother level. Thank you, O Lord. As we go into bed, may you take us to our various beds. Wake us up tomorrow morning to continue our normal work. Thank you very much for answering prayer. Amen.
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 Good night.
Good night.
Amen.
God bless you.
Amen.
Amen.